Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In our last video, we were discussing the importance of muhasaba. In this video, we want to give you some advice that was given by Ibrahim ibn Adham, one of the early Muslims, pious Muslims, on how to develop this quality of muhasaba. Once a man came to him and he told Ibrahim that, "Oh Ibrahim, I can't stop sinning. What do I do?" And Ibrahim told him, "I'll teach you 5 things. If you do these 5 things, then if you sin, nothing will happen to you. You could go ahead and sin." So he says, "Okay, tell me." And he told this man that when you disobey Allah, don't eat from his rizq. Don't take from his rizq. This man said, "How is that possible? Everything we get is from the rizq of Allah. I cannot not eat from his rizq." So then Ibrahim said, "Do you think it's right that you disobey him and yet you're eating from his rizq?" And he said, "No, it's not." So then he said, "I'll teach you the second thing." He says, "When you disobey Allah, move off from his land. Go disobey him in a land that doesn't belong to him." And he said, "This is harder than the first condition. The heavens and earth, everything belongs to him. There's nowhere I can go that doesn't belong to him." So then Ibrahim said, "So you eat from his provision, you live on his land, and yet you disobey him? Do you think this is right?" And he said, "No, it's not." So then he said, "I'll teach you the third thing, that in spite of eating from his provision and living on his land, if you can sin in a place where he doesn't see you, go sin there and nothing will happen to you." And he said, "This is impossible. He sees everything, he hears everything, he knows everything." And then Ibrahim said, "So you take him as provision, you live on his land, and you knows that he knows everything you do. Do you think it's right that you disobey him then?" He says, "No, it's not." So he says, "I'll teach you the fourth thing. When the angel of death comes to take your soul, tell him, 'Give me some time. Let me repent and do good deeds.'" And he said, "The angel of death won't listen to me. When it's my time, he'll just come and he'll take my soul." So then Ibrahim said, "If you know that he won't give you time, how do you hope to be saved?" And then he says, "What's the fifth condition?" He says, "When the angels come to take you to the hellfire, tell them, 'I'm not going with you.'" He says, "They're going to take me, whether I like it or not." So then he said, "How can you hope to be saved then?" So then he said, "Enough, enough, Ibrahim. I seek forgiveness from Allah and I turn to him." So this is a beautiful example of we say with our tongue that rizq is from Allah, that everything belongs to Allah, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows everything. We know that death can come at any time. We know the reality of hellfire. But if we had yaqeen in it, certainty in it, we wouldn't disobey Allah even for a moment. In our next video, we'll be further developing on this concept of muhasaba, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.